mind is at a loss, completely and utterly at a loss. And the reason why Allah emphasizes it is because the initial reaction, Allah knows that the initial reaction would be of denial. A person will automatically say it can't be that bad. Which is why Allah chose to emphasize the sentence. And then He makes an exception to the rule. He gives you a way out. That you don't have to be like them. Follow these four things, which are essentially the biggest principles of Islam. Right? You have faith, you do good, and you don't only worry about yourself, you worry about others as well. You enjoin upon each other. Right? Tabarani, in his collection of hadith, mentions that the Sahaba, when they used to meet each other, they used to recite the surah before they used to part. Right? They used to recite the surah to each other. They didn't part until they recited the surah. Right? Reminding each other of the truth and reminding each other of having patience, of iman, of amal salih, things like that. Right? Any questions?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So for like for example, the last part, okay? وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ, okay? Sabr, for example, patience could be in a time that somebody's going through a tough time, and then you could be telling them, bro, have patience,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So, like when you say enjoin upon the truth, meaning like can you give me like an example of it?
Bid'ah, innovation.
That's one. But when we talk about truth, we don't mean, we mean the absolute truth. Right? Truth is relative, for the most part. Right? The truth for generations previous is not the truth for us. The truth for us is not going to be, you know what they say, moral relativism? Morality shifts from generation to generation. What was moral or immoral for generations previous is considered moral today. What is considered moral for us will be considered immoral for generations after us. Morality is a fluid concept. It is not absolute like Islam. So when we talk about truth, the only absolute truth is belief in Allah, oneness of Allah, and Islam. Okay?
I got it.
Within itself, within Islam, we have different truths. We have contradicting ahadith, which are all, for the most part, on the same level. No matter which ahadith a person chooses to follow, still the truth. But when we talk about truth, when Allah talks about the truth here, we mean that when a person is absolutely in the wrong, no matter how it might be, telling them what is right even if it makes you uncomfortable. With tact. You should add that. Right? Enjoining good or the truth or the right path when you see a person in the wrong, even if it makes you uncomfortable. Even if the truth is something uncomfortable, if it's not popular. Right? It takes enormous courage to be a minority. We all feel that. Right? But it takes enormous courage on top of that to stand out of that minority. Right? No matter what outward symbol of Islam you choose to adopt, right? For the sisters, for the most part, it's hijab. That is the most visible symbol of Islam. I can't say beards because beards are hip right now.
Yeah.
The hipsters have longer beards than some of the uncles in the masjid.
Yeah.
And it's looked at as cool. That's great. You know, we can just, grow our beards also. We can say, it's just hip to have a beard right now, right? You have No Shave November. Team is not making it to the playoffs. The entire team will keep a beard until they make it to the playoffs, right? Andrew Luck had this entire beard, right? Last NFL season, right? So, Nowitzki, whatever. So, having a beard is hip, but hijab is not hip. no matter how you choose to wear it, is not looked at as hip. Very hard to adopt it. Very hard to wear a thobe. Very hard to wear whatever you want to say that outwardly tells everybody you are a Muslim without even you having to introduce yourself. So it's not only that a person is Muslim, which makes him in a minority, but that person chooses to act upon his Islam. So makes you stand out more. Not only that, choosing to defend your deen, even if it's uncomfortable, right, is what we say in joining upon each other the truth. Right? I mean, day in, day out, there are all sorts of things that either explicitly, implicitly attack Islam, or more or less. And for a person to actually stand up and speak out against it takes a great deal of courage and bravery. And joining upon each other the truth, even if it makes you uncomfortable, even if it's not politically correct. Right? Anything else? Yes.
When you spoke the word dawasa,
Mm-hmm.
the meaning that's implied when two people are involved, is that like the concept of verb patterns?
Mm. Mm. Two people are involved. Not only you, but other people as well.
So the question I had before was that, so why do the imams, like, why do a lot of people recite the Surah Asr when they're making dua?
Because it's like
The word asr, I mean, the surah itself is asking Allah for everything that Allah said would lead you to Jannah, would lead you to success. By making dua using the surah, you are essentially asking Allah, don't make me amongst the khusr, make me amongst the people of the third verse. لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ.
Remember how you mentioned nowadays people complain that they don't have enough time? Could it also be like the lifetime we live in and then the time of Rasul, and even before that they had more barakat in their time? Could
Yeah,
that be
that's also something to keep in mind, right? The blessings that a person has. I mean, even wealth. If you look at inflation and if you look at rising prices and all that, $1 50 years ago is not the same dollar today. The value of it. Understand? So the blessing of everything is decreasing, despite the fact we have enormous advantages of, before the people, who passed before us, right? Enormous advantages. But we still rush, especially in New York. New York itself is like a bubble. The minute you step out of New York, you get flabbergasted by how slow life is. It's just in New York how slow things are, how fast things are. There's no time to breathe, there's no time to sit, there's no time to think. Right? People are working non-stop. We don't mean just work as in career, but there's no time for you to just sit down and do nothing. You're so busy. No time whatsoever. But again, sometimes we have to look at ourselves and say, where am I mismanaging my time? Maybe I can shave off a couple of minutes here, shave off a couple of minutes there, replace this activity with another activity. Right? There are many ways to think about it, but everything that we do in life ties into time. The one thing everybody starts off with, at differing lengths, right? We don't know when our countdown is going to end. But everybody has that moment, those precious moments where it's just slipping away. And Allah is essentially calling our attention to that. Alright? So we'll end here. Subhanallah al-azim wa bihamdi subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illallah astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.